The unexpected move to a city in the countryside was definitely not in Justine's plans. However, the requirement from the company where her husband Robert worked made this decision inevitable. Justine then made her decision. She preferred divorce to moving. As they went their separate ways, these two destinies would cross again later on, revealing unthinkable surprises about what the future had in store for each of them. Hello, my friends. I am Linda, and this is Linda's Love Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. The young Robert was overflowing with happiness at that special moment in his life. The newly earned graduation had opened doors to a dream job at a renowned corporation, a business giant with branches in various cities across the country. Upon joining this company, Robert envisioned a future filled with opportunities and the promise of a brilliant career. The grandeur of the company was palpable, with its significant presence in so many places, and Robert was aware that this meant he had the chance to reach incredible heights in his professional journey. With each passing day, he found himself more engaged, immersing himself in a work environment that stimulated his potential. Endowed with an intrinsically proactive nature, Robert quickly stood out, taking the lead on challenging projects within the organization. His tireless commitment and ability to inspire his colleagues soon made him an admired and respected figure by everyone around him. As the months went by, his upward trajectory continued to unfold, a success story that was just beginning to be written. And at a year-end company party, Robert was about to experience the climax of that special moment in his life when he met the woman who would later become his wife. While enjoying the festive atmosphere of the company's annual celebration, Robert felt a subtle anxiety coursing through his mind. The occasion was filled with expectations, with an award ceremony for employees who had excelled during the year. Rumours were circulating, suggesting that he might be honoured with the title of Rookie Employee of the Year. If this rumour proved true, it would be the crowning achievement of all the hard work he had tirelessly dedicated. The announcements of the awardees were about to begin, and Robert, feeling a tinge of anxiety, decided to step away from the centre of the party to breathe and relax. As he walked to the outdoor area of the hall, he rehearsed the speech he would give if he were the winner. Immersed in his thoughts, he did not notice the presence of another person nearby and, involuntarily, began muttering his speech under his breath. It was then that a gentle female voice interrupted his thoughts. "I hope you win because your speech was great," she said. Surprised and a little embarrassed for having been caught off guard, Robert quickly turned around, and his eyes met those of the most beautiful woman he had ever seen in his entire life. He tried to explain, mumbling a bit. "I didn't realize there was anyone else here. I was just stepping out for a moment to get some air." The beautiful woman smiled warmly in response to Robert's words. "I also just came to get some air. I won't disturb your rehearsal any longer. Anyway, I have to get back to work. Good luck to you," she said with a gentle smile before walking away, leaving Robert alone. Robert was still embarrassed and bewildered by the presence of that beautiful woman, and, completely stunned, couldn't formulate a response. That mysterious woman was Justine, and she was working as a waitress at the party. Robert followed her with his eyes as she returned to her duties, his mind brimming with curiosity and fascination, eager to learn more about the enigmatic woman who had crossed his path that night. But it was time to return to the party, as the awards were about to begin. As the event progressed, some standout employees were called to the stage to receive their well-deserved recognitions. Robert, anxious and hopeful, awaited the moment when the category he was interested in would be announced. Fortunately, the circulating rumours proved to be true, and he was chosen as the Rookie of the Year. While on stage, expressing his gratitude in his victory speech, his eyes met Justine's in the audience. She was holding a tray of glasses, and her warm smile, accompanied by a subtle nod of approval, conveyed a sense of support and complicity. At that moment, Robert felt his heart race, realising that he had fallen in love at first sight with that charming stranger. Robert stayed at the party until the end. When it was time for the staff who had worked at the party to leave after their shifts ended, he decided to approach Justine. "I think you brought me luck," Robert began with a sincere smile. "I actually won the award." Justine responded with a warm smile. "Congratulations on your award. You must be very pleased." "Indeed, I am very happy," Robert agreed. "But I would like to return the luck you gave me. May I give you a ride home?" From that car ride, Robert and Justine began a relationship that blossomed and turned into a marriage. Robert's life seemed to really be on the path to success. His career was on the rise and he deeply loved Justine, now his wife and life partner. With Robert's professional success, the couple's financial situation improved. Justine no longer needed to work as a waitress because Robert's salary was enough to support their life together, even if without luxuries. Robert believed Justine should use her time to specialize professionally or find a personal goal. He insisted that even if she chose not to work, it was important to have a purpose in life, a target to aim for. But Justine did not share the same vision. She enjoyed spending her days in shopping malls or immersed in social media, living in a world of illusions and entertainment. The disparity between their priorities started to create friction. Robert had a very disciplined perspective on finances, and this financial concern created a certain frustration in Justine, who felt limited in her choices and desires. "We must save, Justine," Robert would often repeat. "We never know what the future holds, and it's important to be prepared for any eventuality." Despite their differences, the love that Robert and Justine shared was deep, and they were willing to face any situation together. At least that was what Robert believed until confronted with a sad reality. That late afternoon, Robert came home full of excitement. He had thrilling news to share with his wife. "Justine, you have no idea what happened," Robert began with a sparkle in his eyes. "I received an offer from the company to lead the implementation of a new branch. This will be fantastic for my future at the company." Robert was elated, seeing this opportunity as a significant step in his career and a chance to provide an even better life for him and Justine. What he did not yet know was how his wife would react to the news. "That's great, my love," Justine began, excited. "Does this mean you'll get a raise, right? We could then look for a bigger apartment, maybe near my favourite mall, and perhaps it's time to think about changing the car." Justine's words flowed, full of expectations and plans for a more comfortable future. However, before she could continue, Robert interrupted her with a serious expression. "Justine, for now my salary will not be increased," he said calmly. "In fact, we are moving, but to another city. This branch will be established in a small town in the interior of the country, about 5 hours away from here. But professionally, it can be a great opportunity." The shock spread across Justine's face as the reality of the situation began to unfold before her. The expectations of a more comfortable and extravagant life that she had created in her mind were abruptly interrupted. The couple was about to face a significant change in their lives, a change that would challenge their priorities and their vision of the future. "Robert, you're crazy to accept this proposal. What will you gain by taking us to live in the middle of nowhere? Don't you realize you're being demoted in your position at the company?" "Justine, you're mistaken," Robert tried to explain, his eyes seeking her understanding. "My boss told me that if this branch is successful, I will receive a significant salary increase, in addition to assuming a prominent position in the company." The wife was unwavering in her conviction that this proposal wouldn't improve their lives. Then, with firmness in her voice, she gave her final word. "I am not moving anywhere. If you insist on accepting this proposal, you can count on the end of our marriage." Robert initially thought it was just a bluff on his wife's part. He couldn't believe that their marriage would end because of this professional decision. Sticking to his moving plans, he believed it was the best choice for the family. A few days before the move, Justine handed an envelope to her husband. When Robert opened it, he was astonished by what he saw. It was the divorce papers, already signed by Justine and ready for his signature. Robert was perplexed by Justine's decision and believed she was acting irrationally. He tried to appeal to the practical side of the situation, concerned about his wife's financial well-being. "Justine, how are you going to support yourself if we separate now?" he asked, his voice laden with concern. You don't even have a profession." "Robert, don't forget I have the right to half of everything we have," Justina reminded firmly. "We've saved over these years, and I know we have enough to sustain me, perhaps even until I marry again." Justine's response left Robert deeply offended. He couldn't understand how she was willing to give up the marriage he held so dearly. Moved by Justine's resolute attitude, he made the difficult decision to sign the divorce papers. And so, life went on. In the divorce, Justine ended up with half of the couple's savings, besides the car and the belongings from the apartment they shared. For Robert, these material issues seemed insignificant, and he was determined to move forward. Meanwhile, Robert continued his professional ascent remarkably. The successful establishment of the new branch under his command was a testament to his commitment and dedication to his work. For several years, he continued to live and work in that small town, reaping the rewards of his efforts. Finally, recognition for his hard work arrived. He was promoted and, as part of his new responsibilities, he was about to move back to the big city where he had previously lived. It was the result of years of determination and perseverance, a professional achievement he was proud to attain. Robert's life was about to take another significant step in his journey. On a night of celebration, Robert decided to visit a luxurious restaurant in that metropolis to celebrate his recent achievements. Little did he know that he was about to come face to face with his past. During dinner, Robert got up to go to the bathroom and, to his surprise, he ended up bumping into Justine, his ex-wife. "Robert, what are you doing here? Have you returned to the city?" she asked, visibly surprised. "Yes, Justine, I got a promotion and I'm back," he replied, maintaining his composure. "Maybe we could meet," she suggested with a hopeful look. Robert then explained sincerely, "I'm sorry, Justine, our time has passed. Do you see that woman sitting at that table over there? That is my wife. I met her in that small town where I went to work. She lived her entire life there, her whole family still lives there, and despite all her roots being there, she didn't hesitate for a minute to move with me to this city, understanding that it was an unmissable opportunity. I now have a true companion by my side." At that moment, the restaurant manager interrupted the conversation. "Justine, what are you doing standing there? Go attend to the tables." Justine cast one last look at Robert and, with a sigh, withdrew to resume her work as a waitress. In life, we make decisions that indeed shape our future. Justine seemed like a person without vision or goals. By refusing to accompany her husband in his pursuit of professional growth, she failed to see that, in the long run, this opportunity could be truly beneficial for the family. As a consequence of not considering the future, her decisions led her to relive the past, finding herself back at work as a waitress. When making decisions in our lives, it is crucial to consider not only the present, but also the future. Planning and having a long-term vision can help us avoid regrets and seize the opportunities that come our way. If you enjoyed, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment with a number from 1 to 5 to let us know how much you liked the story. Also, watch the video that is currently on your screen. See you soon.